volunteer hourly.
Adam. Where's Adam?
Oh, so who's that? We got Eric.
No, Adam took over for Faye.
Eric's the lawyer.
Yeah. Oh, I better not lay that up there. If it vibrates, it'll go right through the mic.
I just have it off. I think off. Off.
Good evening. Welcome to this Tuesday, April 2nd Planning Commission meeting. Do the approval of last week's minutes, or last meeting's minutes. Does anybody have any questions, changes? Can I get a motion?
I'll second.
All in favor? I say
Aye.
All right, we have to move two of these action items up. We'll need a motion for that. We need to move 3.5 and 3.6 to the beginning. Do I have a motion? I have a first
I'll second.
and a second. All in favor? Aye. All right. First up is 3.5, consideration for variance at 3601 Hanson Avenue.
Good evening. The item before you, on behalf of the SCDC Baseline Surveying, has submitted the application for a variance to Lot C4 A2F lot width from 100 feet to 500 feet. Lot is currently described as C4 A2R of the Sturgis Industrial Park subdivision, located in the northeast quarter of the southwest quarter of Section 6, Township 5 North, Range 5 East of the Black Hills Meridian in the city of Sturgis. The reason for the variance request to go from 100-foot lot width to the frontage to 50-foot is so that there can be constructed a business. This lot is kind of weird shaped, so it'll be like a flagpole, so they can construct a business back in there. Lot C4A2F meets the variance criteria with the narrowness. The property is zoned general industrial, and the owner, or soon-to-be owner, Tim Edson, will be building his welding shop in this location. Signage was placed on the property February 26th of this year. 5 landowner response forms went out. One was only with approval. One was left unclaimed. The rest were never returned. Taxes were paid February 21st of 2024. So it meets all the compliance. Staff recommends the approval of the variance request due to the hardship of the narrowness of the lot.
All right. Yeah.
So the building isn't gonna go there, that's basically gonna be a driveway, or is there gonna be a building on that?
Yeah, that's correct. Coming off of Hanson Avenue, that narrowness, it'll just be a 50-foot basically entrance driveway that will go up and then toward to the business.
Yeah, where it widens out back in the back there.
Correct, yes.
So, can I comment on that? So the L-shaped has always been and will continue to be set aside for a street. So if we were ever able to acquire any land to the north or the west of the existing industrial park, then that would be the access portion.
So that would be the dedicated right of way at that point,
Yes, yeah.
makes sense.
We have no intention to sell it to anyone for anything, so just for the future road. Maybe not in our lifetime, but at some point.
Never know.
Never know.
This part.
Yeah, okay.
Is there any other comments, questions?
I think it's good that we're getting somebody looking out there to build and occupy another lot.
Yeah, that'd be great. Other business.
Yep.
Anything from the public? Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a first
I'll second.
and a second. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Next up is 3.6, which is preliminary plat application for the same one, 3601 Hanson Avenue.
This item before you is Baseline Surveying has submitted on behalf of SEDC a proposed plat for Lot 4, C4A2A, Lot C4A2B, and C4A2C of the Sturgis Industrial Park subdivision. This was formerly Lot C4A2R of the Sturgis Industrial Park. All this is located in the northeast quarter, the southwest quarter of Section 6, Township 5 North, Range 5 East of the Black Hills Meridian, located in the city of Sturgis, Meade County. The purpose is to plat these lots into 3 separate parcels to allow further commercial developments. The lots are currently zoned general industrial. Taxes were paid on February 21st of 2024. Staff makes recommendation for the approval of these lots. And this does coincide with what you just, to have that 50-foot frontage.
Dave, how wide is that flagpole part?
Which part, Aaron? The tall part?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd have to look here.
I can't see it. On the plat, I don't see a dimension.
There's not.
It's way at the top.
Yeah, it's 81.39 is what it appears.
Yeah.
So by dividing this into 3 lots, is that gonna cause problems with access?
No, because they'll have that access off of Hanson Avenue that you just gave the variance to the width. And then the other 2 lots will have access also off of
Hanson.
Hanson.
Okay.
They'll have a shared access in the middle, if I'm correct, if I remember rightly. Or is it Amanda?
Yeah, so the lot C4A2B will be accessed right off of Hanson Avenue. So kind of what's the parallel street? The north-south street, kind of where it ends at the top. That's where the access will be for that lot.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Pretty straightforward. Any other comments, questions? Anything from the public? Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Have a first
A second.
and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. All right, thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate you moving the
Yeah, have a
items
good
around
night.
for me.
Next up is 3.1, consideration for variance for gravel surfacing at 1311 Industry Road.
The item before you is a variance request. Schulte TA Incorporated has requested a variance to Title 180513 that states all of the lot used for parking of vehicles, for storage and display of merchandise in all driveways, used for vehicle ingress and egress shall be constructed of concrete or asphalt and maintained in good condition. Off-street parking is required in Article 5. All areas utilized for vehicle travel or parking shall be of hard surface material. The definition in our ordinance of hard surface is concrete or asphalt. The applicant wishes to have a gravel surface parking lot for the heavy equipment for the business. The property is currently described as Sturgis Industrial Park Subdivision Lot 1A revised. Variance consideration. In determining variance requests, the Planning Commission Board must specifically address certain criteria when determining whether to grant or deny the variance request. This criteria stems from the statute and city ordinance. The board must address the specific criteria in their oral and written decision. And the variance criteria are special circumstances or conditions exist, such as exceptional narrowness, topography, or relaxation of the zoning ordinance, provides a quantifiable benefit to the city and surrounding neighborhood. The variance request provides the minimum adjustment necessary for reasonable use of this land. The property is zoned general industrial. Signage was placed on the property March 5th, 2024. 8 landowner response forms went out. 5 were returned with approval. 1 asked to make sure the gravel was monitored for motorcyclist safety due to the location of Indians building across the street. Staff does make a recommendation for approval, and a bit of history. We have allowed this, or planning in the past, commission has allowed this for some of the other businesses out there because, I'll take Iverson Construction, for example, because when they had all their equipment, it has a tendency to tear up asphalt concrete.
Yeah, for sure. Is there anybody here to represent? Can you come up to the microphone and make sure that green light's on?
You guys, please state your name into the microphone and
I'm Pat
Thank you.
Frazier.
And Dick Werner. We're owners of Schulte TA.
Okay, good evening. Yeah, I'm familiar with this, with tracks and loaders and stuff. You don't want the hard surfacing, so I get the request for it.
The only question I have is, are you gonna have a paved entryway to where that gravel isn't right against the curb for the
Right.
one comment that was received for the safety?
We were gonna leave a 25-foot grass boulevard along Industry, well, that wouldn't be Industry. That'd be on Mayor Ave. And then, our plan for the future would be to fence that in and then have the gate access coming off of our current concrete driveway, because we can't get trucks backed in off of Mayor or semis. We do have one approach already built in on Mayor, and if need be, we could concrete, you know, whatever you guys request before it hits the gravel, so we have one more access into that lot.
Yeah, I would like to see,
I'd like to see some more distance there, just to give the tires room to clean off.
Right.
You know, and I understand their concern with the motorcycle traffic there. You know, and the other thing is maintain it so that it doesn't become a pile of gravel out there in the middle of the street.
yeah, washing out.
Yeah. That's the only, you know, if you can get it back, what are you now, 25 feet? For your approach?
Boulevard, I'm not certain what that is.
We were gonna keep we have 25 feet on the east side of the lot, so we're just gonna keep that 25 feet of grass for aesthetics and to
Right.
keep that gravel away from the road.
Right, but where your entrance is,
Um,
how much concrete are you gonna have from, say, the edge of street to the gravel?
I would think the 25 feet, so we could stay at that grass line also.
There are, when we drove around, there are 8 approaches out there now in that park that have gravel.
That don't
And
have-
yeah, that don't have concrete
Okay,
on them. So I guess we're just asking, you know, we'll do what's necessary, but we don't want to be any additional. That's not going to be our main entrance, you know, for our big equipment because there's no way to pull in and out of there, so.
right.
And I will, there are, trying to remember the name of the business, it was, they made cattle gates and stuff like that in their parking lot where everything was, that was all gravel too. And they maintained it pretty well. That was the big thing that was asked about, was to keep the gravel off the road and maintain it, so.
Right.
Right.
Yep,
So the main entrance is hard surfaced.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
we replaced all the asphalt with concrete coming off of Mayor 2 years ago. So we have, I think there's around 100 feet of concrete to get into our shop.
okay.
And there was a boulevard area that we removed and made
Yep.
so that that would be a good access for us. So we have some asphalt still in front of the shop, but I mean on the right side or
The east
left, I
side,
guess,
yep.
if you're facing it, yeah, east side.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I guess in your picture there, where you can see the concrete heading to the north, and then there's some asphalt east of that. There's grass in between, that's all concrete now.
I was gonna say, that's gotta be probably an older
Yep,
picture.
yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I totally get it.
Concrete does us better than grass.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nope, I totally understand, especially if you're bringing big equipment in, I get that. That's,
Anything else from the commission? Anything from the public? Is there a motion?
I'll motion.
I have a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
You'll
coming.
have,
This will go to the city council on, yeah,
Sixth, right?
thank you.
thank you, guys. Next up is 3.2, preliminary plat application for 2425 Lozelle Street.
And the plat in front of you, baseline surveying is submitted on behalf of Runnings. This is a proposed plat of Lot 2 revised in Block 1 of Genter and the dedicated public right-of-way of 15th Street, formerly known as Lot 1 revised, Lot 2, Block 1 of Jenner Wilburn Chafee Addition in the city of Sturgis, all located in the southeast quarter of Section 5, Township 5 North, Range 5 East of Black Hills Meridian, City of Sturgis. The purpose of this plat is to dedicate the already maintained right-of-way and also allow access to Silver Street for future improvements. Currently, that section of 15th Street that runs between the campground and Runnings parking lot is owned by Runnings. And Silver Street is not a dedicated public right-of-way, but a private street. The city does maintain all these streets as far as plowing and other maintenance on it. This will allow us to own what we maintain and allow us for the new sewer line that will be going out to proposed developments toward the west. Staff does make recommendation for approval on this plat.
Yeah. Gotta be done.
Little cleanup work.
Yep, gotta get one step for the next 3 steps, right?
At least.
Is there anything from the commission? Anything from the public? We have a motion,
I'll move to approve.
the first,
I'll second it.
second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you. Next up is 3.3, consideration for side yard setback variances for 1901 Heather Court.
The variance request in front of you is submitted by David Gilbert from 1901 Heather Court. He has submitted the application for a side yard setback variance from 5 feet to 3 feet. The purpose is to build a larger detached garage. The lot is currently described as Hurley First Edition, Lot 26, Block 2, Black Hills Meridian, City of Sturgis, Meade County, South Dakota. The variance considerations, I will read it once again. In determining variance requests, the Planning Commission Board must specifically address certain criteria when determining whether or not to grant or deny the variance. This criteria stems from the statute and city ordinance. The board must address the specific criteria in their oral and written decision. The variance criteria are special circumstances or conditions exist, such as exceptional narrowness, topography, or relaxation of zoning ordinance provides a quantifiable benefit to the city and the surrounding neighborhood, where strict application of the zoning ordinance would deprive the applicant of any reasonable use of his land, i.e. create a hardship. Mere loss in value does not justify a variance. There must be a deprivation of beneficial use of the land. The variance provides the minimum adjustment necessary for the reasonable use of the land, and granting the variance is in harmony with the general purpose and the intent of the zoning ordinance and will not be injurious to the neighborhood. detrimental to public welfare, or in conflict with the comprehensive plan. The property is currently zoned medium-density residential. Signage was placed on the property February 26th of 2024. 17 landowner response forms were sent out. 7 were returned, all with approval, and 1 disapproval with no comments included. Staff had a hard time seeing the hardship for the variance in the request under the variance criteria. Any questions?
Yes.
Better pictures.
Mr. Gilbert here, oh, you're right there, sorry, I should have looked up first. Welcome. So it's 3 feet on both sides you're looking for?
Just on the side yard.
I think, it's just 3 feet on the one side.
On the, yeah, on the 22.7 side.
Okay,
And that, we know too that that doesn't come out to a perfect 90 on that other corner. It's kind of a, make it fit.
right. 18 feet.
My question is, if you're building a garage there, how are you gonna access it?
There's gonna be on the 18-foot side, there'll be one roll-up door there. There's just enough room where you can actually get a vehicle between the garage and that retaining wall. I mean, just enough room. And then there'll be a service door on that 7-foot side, which would be facing south to get into the backyard. And then there's, it's kind of hard to tell in that picture, but there's one utility shed too that's gonna go away. We're basically getting rid of the one utility shed, and if we can add on to the garage, then we can kind of put everything in the garage.
Yeah. Can't go on, yeah, it wouldn't make sense to do it over there either.
Is there enough room to slide back more to where you've got that straight, where your 6'3" is?
Originally, we didn't even want to go back that far. We have, that's basically the only flat spot of yard we have. And I didn't want to burn it up with a garage. I mean, from there, it goes up the hill. It's all
The whole
hill.
neighborhood's on a hill.
Yeah. So even like parking my trailer, actually, when this is done, I'll have to sell my trailer because I really want to know where to park it. But hopefully I will have the room so I don't have to store all my stuff in my trailer. It's the theory.
It's hard.
And the same if you would build onto the back of the garage, it goes right up the hill.
That spot right where that round circle is,
Yeah,
that's flat. And that was dug out when we did the addition on the house. And then that line there's actually a retaining wall, and that goes from maybe 3 feet on the one end all the way up to like 4 or 5 feet. And then from there, it's actually still uphill. You can't park nothing on it. You can't really do anything on it. Mow it.
What's stopping you from adding on to the back of the garage and not doing that, taking up your side yard there?
That's kind of our recreational area.
Okay.
And again,
Only-
like I
your
say,
only flat spot. for
pretty
you to-
much.
Yeah,
That ring is actually our fire pit.
okay.
And when we can, that's, like I say, one of the few spots you can sit there with a chair, in a chair.
Guess that would be a hardship with your only flat spot. I don't.
And that would fall under one where there's topography issues, narrowness or topography, so.
That could be the hardship.
let me ask you this, if you went down to be 17 feet on that end, are you wanting to put a 16-foot door in that side? Is that why you went 18?
No, That's what the dimension just came out to, from the garage to that, if we go 3 feet on the wall. What it turned out to is if we can go 3 feet, the original design, because it's changed like, I have no clue how many times since we've been trying to make it work. But to go with the 3-foot variance, we could make that bay actually big enough to put a vehicle in. But originally it was pushed up, let's see, that'd be to the west, where then all of a sudden now that 3 feet would make that bay long enough.
Did you have it surveyed to know that that's truly where that is?
Excuse me?
Sorry, did you have this surveyed so you truly know where that lot line is?
Yeah,
Okay,
well, the markers are there.
okay.
Okay.
Some of that, especially on the Beacon or GIS, those lines are way off.
And the long wall where the 22.7 feet is, that's one of the reasons I don't want to go any closer than 3 feet because there's actually a retaining wall there because that was built up.
Okay.
And I want enough room to be able to get through there yet, walk through with the lawnmower or whatever.
So the hardship would be topography. Anything else from the commission? Any other questions? Concerns? Anything from the public? Is there a motion on the table?
I'll make a motion to approve due to the topography issues.
Have a first? Is there a second?
Yeah, second.
Have a first and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up is 3.4, consideration for side yard setback variances for 1048th Street.
Bear with me a second. Oh, I should have it in here. The item before you is a variance request submitted by Sandra Lemmel at 1048th Street for a side yard setback. The request is for the side yard setback from 10 foot to 5 foot 9. Lots currently described in Ash's Addition, Lot H, Block Meridian, City of Sturgis. I won't read the variance requirements again for you, so you all know them. The lot meets the variance criteria with the variance provides the minimum adjustment necessary for the reasonable use of the land. The dimensions of a newer mobile home will not allow the replacement of a previous mobile home and setback requirements. The property is zoned Mobile Home 1. In October of 2022, a variance was granted to the applicant to build a stick-built shop house. Utilities are currently found to run through Lot H, and which services both Lot H and Lot A. Signage was placed on the property February 26th of 2024. 12 landowner response forms went out. 5 were returned with approval. The taxes were paid on the property February 21st of 2024. Staff makes a recommendation to approve due to the hardship with the understanding that the utilities will have to be moved for the 2 separate lots for the future building of the stick home on the second lot.
Is somebody here to represent that tonight?
I guess we are at this time.
All right. And my understanding is they're trying to push it as far back so it's away from the street for the city utilities.
No, the mobile home that was on Lot A was initially smaller, and because of the setbacks in Mobile Home 1, which are much greater than setbacks in medium-density residential, it made it impossible to put a newer mobile home in there at all. So that's where the relaxation of the setback variances are, to be able to put a 14 by 66 home in there versus what was much smaller. But during this whole process, all the utilities come off of 8th Street and run underneath where the proposed mobile home is to the proposed home in the back. So she will have to put new services in for the lot in the back.
Okay.
That was probably more than you wanted to know.
And she's aware of the
on record.
utility.
She is in fact aware of it.
I think we discussed it the last time, too.
I think so too. I'm trying to recollect that,
That was a while ago, but
yeah. Because we replatted the lots.
Yeah, this was replatted and she was given a variance to, Lot B, to be able to build the stick-built house in a mobile home zone.
Gotcha.
You know why they're not pushing it forward towards 8th Street and splitting the difference?
Just setbacks, because the front setback is much greater, so push it back, allow the front setback to be in there, and have a smaller setback to the rear.
only need one setback.
Yeah.
What is the future, are they gonna be able to move that away from that mobile home to get a little more clearance?
Are you talking about the shop home with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lot B?
It's pretty tight through there.
I know,
She's gonna continue to own both lots and rent the front one.
right.
But for what, she hasn't provided a set of plans yet for her shop house yet. So this is just proposed size. We'll see when we get a set of plans what we have for room on there.
Gotcha.
You know, my only concern is fire with mobile homes. Not getting that other one too close and crowding that lot line.
Well, you figure in basically medium density, we have 5 feet to the rear, or 10 feet to the rear, excuse me,
5-foot sides.
and 5-foot side yards. This is, after it's off of 8th, so it's a rear setback on that one, and then the other house, shop house, would be a side setback.
5 feet.
So we're gonna be 10 feet between the two, which is on average about what we have in some of the other zones.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, I understand, mobile homes seem to burn hotter and faster, but hopefully that won't happen.
Right? Okay. Any other questions, comments from the commission? Anything from the public? Do I have a motion?
I'll move to approve.
I have a first. I have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next up is 3.7 for consideration for use on review to allow in-home dog grooming. Oh, yeah, I gotta get back there too. 'Cause now we're not.
Okay, the request is for a conditional use on review to allow an in-home dog grooming business at 633 Weber Drive. I'm hoping I pronounce this. Yesenia Galasso, owner of Pawed Up Pet Grooming, has submitted a use and review application to allow for the dog grooming business to be run out of the property at 633 Weber Drive. Property is owned by Brent Urbanik, the applicant's grandfather. He has given consent for the application to move forward to allow his granddaughter to continue to groom this residence. The property is currently zoned medium-density residential. This is an allowable use under a conditional use. Signage was placed on the property on February 26th of 2024. 26 landowner response forms were sent out. 12 were returned with approval and 1 was unclaimed. Staff does make a recommendation for approval of this conditional use. And I believe no one's here to represent, so we will answer any questions that you might have, to the best of our ability.
I'm assuming that this is just like a 1 or 2 dog at a time kind of deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, that's my next question, because Weatherly already has a ton of traffic
Yeah.
up there, it is busy. So how, do we know how much he's expecting to do, just 1 or 2 dogs a day?
That's our understanding. 1 to 5 a day at most. I know that currently grooming dogs is an extensive deal, so it could take anywhere from 1 to 2 hours, depending upon the size of the animal and the type of clip and cut that the groomer provides. So,
Thank you for your wonderful insight.
you're welcome.
I have a question. Consent has been given to the applicant to move forward. Was that a written consent?
That is correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got others of these around town all
Oh,
over.
yeah.
There's what, 3 or 4?
I know of at least one.
I do too.
All right. Anything else from the commission? Anything from the public? Do we have a motion?
Can I ask a
Oh,
question?
yep.
Do they plan on leaving their driveway open for parking since Weber isn't super wide and it's already a 1-car pass through if people are parking on the street? Is there something we can ask them to do that?
Well,
Recommend.
we can make you can make a recommendation that but knowing what I know, again, about the dog grooming, most of it's a quick drop off. They're not waiting for their pet to be done, so the traffic is in and out, and a quick pickup. So it would be no more than like family visiting probably. But if you'd like to ask them to be able to leave a parking spot open during hours for the customers to pull in, we could do that, or you can do that as the commission. But that's entirely up to you.
But if they already have 2 cars, you're just gonna move one from the driveway and put it in the street.
Yeah.
Exactly, so you're not changing anything.
Yeah.
It's, at that point, it's kind of splitting hairs.
Yeah.
Now, understand, as all use on reviews for at-home businesses go in a residential neighborhood, they will be subject, or will be subject to commercial water rates, garbage rates, sewer rates, as well as the county could tax partial commercial tax. But that's generally what has happened in the past.
And it will be reviewed yearly.
That's
So
correct.
if there starts to be complaints about parking, about traffic,
Then if there is complaints that are made even prior to the end of the year, it can be brought back to the commission for you to reevaluate.
Yeah, we've had that before. All right. Do I have a motion?
A motion.
Have a first?
I'll second.
Second, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And then there's only just the annual automatic renewals.
Yeah, there is in your packet, there's a list.
Oh, Dave, excuse me. Is there anything from the public for other comment? No, okay,
Sorry.
yeah.
So there is a list of automatic annual reviews that have come up. This seems to be a very busy time of the year. There's some daycares on there and office space. All of them were looked at. All the businesses are continuing to operate in their locations. And there's been 0 complaints on any of them at this time that have been made to code enforcement or any other departments. And staff recommends that we just reapprove them for another year.
Do I have a motion for dismissal?
I will move to adjourn.
First, second, all in favor? Aye. Have a good evening, everybody.